What's going on, allies? Tyler Austin here. Welcome to another video. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about real estate. Oh my gosh, 2021's been crazy. COVID's been crazy. Why are you in real estate? Should I even start it? Should I not start it? So today we're going to talk about, should you or is real estate wholesaling a good thing for you to start in 2021, and does it really help you with your goals? So stay tuned. We're going to cover it. I'll see you guys in the video. Wholesaling real estate in 2021, is it right for you? To know that answer, we gotta know what wholesaling actually is. Maybe you already know, maybe you don't, but I'm gonna cover a wholesale overview just so that we make sure that you do understand, all right? So, what is wholesaling? A couple misconceptions that I wanna make sure that we handle. Wholesaling is not assigning contracts. Okay, you might hear that, you might see that on other YouTube channels. I promise you that wholesaling is not the actual art of assigning contracts. Assigning contracts is simply an assignment agreement. We'll go into that in a little bit, okay? So think about Sam's Club. Sam's Club is a distribution for goods, but you get it cheaper at bulk because they're selling it to you at a wholesale price, okay? It's the ability to have something in quantity and sell it at a discount, okay? You can wholesale, anything. I could buy a pack of these, right? And then I could go to the gas station and I could say, hey, I'll sell these to you. And I'll sell them for $10 more. They'll sell them for $3 a piece, right? I'm wholesaling it to the gas station, okay? So just remember that wholesaling is nothing but the ability to sell something at volume consistently, okay? If I were to only do that one time, that I wholesale it, I just kind of sold a pack of, Reigns, right? But if I do it every single week now, I could probably consider myself a wholesale distributor, okay? So that's the first and foremost, understanding the terminology of what wholesaling is. Now, when it comes to real estate, when you're saying you're wholesaling, what you're doing is you're really just marketing. You're creating a marketing and acquisitions company where you get properties under contract at a discount consistently, okay? If you were a flipper and you were, maybe doing 3 flips a year and you found your own deals through talking to your neighbors and you talked them down to a discount, would you consider yourself a wholesaler? Probably not. You just consider yourself a flipper. But if you're doing the art of going out and finding and marketing and getting deals consistently at a discount, now, okay, we can start saying, okay, yeah, I'm doing wholesaling of real estate. But the question is, are you assigning those contracts to somebody, which means that you have a purchase and sales agreement, you have an assignment contract, and that assignment contract assigns the equitable interest in that contract that you have with the seller to another investor for a profit. That right there, that assignment, the selling of that contract, is what most people consider wholesaling, but that's not true. That's simply assigning the contract at a profit. It is an exit strategy, and it is probably the easiest, most efficient way to get into real estate with $0 out of your own pocket. All right. Now, when it comes to deciding if it's right for you to be a wholesaler, you just got to ask yourself, do you want to be in that frame, right? Do you fit the profile of being somebody who wants to do marketing tons of properties, getting a bunch of no's until you get a yes, to then decide, okay, what do I want to do now? Do I want to assign this contract to somebody? Do I want to assign it to myself and then flip it? Do I want to keep it as a rental? What kind of business model do we want to build here? Okay, so stopping, moving on, all right? The market, because one of the biggest things that I was having people ask me down south when I was talking to some family members is talking about the market. The market's hot, the market's this. The market's irrelevant because no matter whether it's high or it's low, it's still the art of finding properties at a discount. The only difference is what your offer is to get it at that discount. Some things we got to think about, however, with the market, especially in 2021 with COVID and everything else, is our risk tolerance. Our risk tolerance is really important because I may have a good amount of cash in a bank account. You may not, I may not, and one of my buyers may. So we have different risk tolerances in what we're willing to do. For example, I'm not gonna buy $1 million property right now and try and flip it. Why? Because it's gonna take me 4 to 6 months to get that project done, get it listed. By then it might not be $1 million property, right? the market's, really tight right now. There's nice bubbles expanding, and I don't trust the fact that those high income properties are going to sustain their market value. So therefore, I'm not, risking my money because, I don't have $50 million sitting in the bank account to be able to just say, hey, another million, I lost 200 grand. I don't want to lose money. All right, so I'm really risk adverse. So I'm only bringing down properties under my own company that I know are smart investments, okay? That's a whole nother video on what is a smart investment, but you gotta think about this to figure out, is it right for you or is it not? Just know that the market is irrelevant. Now is a fantastic time to get into the market. It's a fantastic time in the last year. The only thing that is for certain when it comes to real estate and investing and anything that you do is that the only, day that's better than today was yesterday. Okay, so it's more about getting and taking action and just making sure you're staying within your risk tolerance. Don't confuse the hot market for you being lazy or just not want to take action or scarcity and stuff like that, okay? So with that, investor profile, okay? The next big thing that I think people need to understand is, what is your profile? What is the type of individual that you are? Right now, what is your biggest skill set in? Is it talking? Is it selling? Is it are you athletic? What is it that you really love? What is it that you do? Something that really hit home with me, I've been doing this for since 2017 on the flipping and wholesaling side, and I've made a good amount of money doing it. And so what I've realized over time, as I've increased my wealth and took on rental portfolios, invested money into big syndications, is that never make a decision simply because it's something that you want to do or without, with a FOMO, fear of missing out mindset. So don't just get into real estate wholesaling and real estate because you think you're missing out on a ton of money. If you have money in the bank, put it towards whatever your investor profile is. So, for example, I've always been a really, tech savvy person. I've always really enjoyed building things. So when I started getting money, I took that money I was making in real estate and I diverted it over into solving a problem in my own company and building my software company, REI Sift. And that's been the best decision I've ever made. And if I was to invest more larger sums of money into something, it's gonna be in other software companies more so than it would be in something that I don't understand, like opening a beauty salon, for example. Like, I wouldn't take my money and put it over there because it's not in my portfolio, it's not my DNA, okay? But I would put it into real estate because I understand real estate. So understand, if you have money, just because you have it doesn't mean you spend it, okay? You just keep it, reserve it, and then educate and decide on what is your profile and where do you want to send it at. So if you're coming across this video simply because you just heard about wholesaling and you feel like you're missing out on a ton of money because someone that made $100,000 in one paycheck, which I've done, made more than that off one paycheck, but doesn't mean that you need to just hop on it and spend all your money doing it. Do everything the right way and understand yourself, which is probably one of the most important things in life in general, is understanding who you are and what you should be doing based off that without regards to anybody else, okay? So understand your investor profile. Okay, after you understand your investor profile, you understand what you love and what you do, okay? Next thing we gotta understand is our long-term goals, okay? Right now is a hot market. We can make a lot of money in this market. We wanna get into real estate. So we say, hey, now's a great time. But what is your long-term goals? Is it passive income? Is it rentals? Is it traveling a ton? Because those directly correlate to the type of business we're gonna build in this market or in any market. Okay, if you want to go travel a ton, then you have two options. You build a really lean operation, or you build a really big operation and hire someone to take it over for you. The way that you do those two different types of companies and those types of business models are way different, but they all start in one common thing: finding one deal, figuring out what it takes to sell it, and doing it over and over and over and over. The difference is how much money are we spending and how many employees do we have, okay? And there's a right way and a wrong way to do that, and we'll cover that in some other videos on what is healthy scale and what isn't in any business. So think about your long-term goals and then map it out. You should have a 1 year, a 3 year, a 5 year, and 10-year goals to figure out where you want to be at in life. And once you have those goals, figure out where real estate and wholesaling might fit into it, okay? Because you can make good money, but is good money flipping 5 houses a year at $50,000 profit, taking that $200,000 or $250,000 and putting it into something else minus taxes. You're gonna probably pay roughly $50,000 in taxes on that, but you know, if you're making money, do you want to put it into something else? How can you potentially just maybe do this as a catalyst to what other, you know, anything else that you want to do? Or do you want to do it long-term as a business and as a lifestyle and everything else, right? So think about your long-term goals, map them out, and I'll have some other videos for you guys on how I do that in my own life as well as my students, okay? Now, marketing strategy is the next biggest thing. Depending on how much money you have to get started is going to depend on, you know, what kind of marketing strategies, because if you don't have very much money, that's okay, that's great, we can fix that, okay? But the biggest problem people make is they take no money for no action, right? We want to take action. In fact, when you have no money, you have to take even harder action, okay? Time equals money, money equals time, they're created equal. If you don't have money, you have to spend more time. If you have money, you can spend it to free and buy back your time so that you don't have to do as much. Not to be confused with offloading the most important things in your business really early on because you want to be lazy and sit back and put your legs up and drink martinis, okay? There's difference there, all right? So marketing strategies, some of the best ones, direct mail always is a sure kill. It's great, it's efficient, there's branding behind it. We'll talk about that in some other videos. Each of these marketing strategies, I have a bunch of videos in my YouTube channel now as it is about how to do different marketing strategies and how that correlates with money, okay? But if you have less than, let's say, $500 a month to spend, then you need to be spending a bunch of time. If you have about $1,000 a month to spend, then you want to make sure that you're doing some cold calling, but you're at minimum, you want to divert at least a quarter of that to direct mail every single month, okay? Other than that, some software products that we can have if you guys are thinking of getting started in real estate. You can watch some of the other videos that we have. You go to REI Sif's YouTube channel and check out, you know, all the videos that we have there. But REI Sif, you know, naturally is one that you need to have. And then a product like AirCall would be another one. They pair together very well. And with those two products, it's going to cost you less than $250 a month. Definitely less than $500 depending on what plans you're on in those. And you can definitely turn a six-figure business out of just that alone. Second to that, you're going to need data. And data, we have a ton of videos at REI Sif for that. And I think that's about it, okay? So the biggest thing that I want you guys to take out of this is that now is a perfectly fine time to get started in real estate. Understand your investor profile. Understand that things can be an asset to you. Like wholesaling and real estate should just be something that you do. It doesn't matter what else you want to do or how you want to do it. Everybody should be thinking about their wealth, and real estate is one of the best places to store that money. But you don't have to build a wholesaling company or real estate, you know, marketing company in order to find deals. You can go to other wholesalers. You can go to, you know, the MLS and make really aggressive offers. You can do a lot of other things if you just want to get rentals, okay? But if you kick out X amount of dollars in marketing a year, you're gonna end up getting better deals than you would just going to the MLS or going anywhere else. So think about that, okay? Hopefully this video gave you some clarity and at least got you to think about if you should get into real estate, if you can or can't do this business, but to give you a little bit of confidence if you, for whatever reason, feel still that this isn't right for you, that you can't do wholesaling. You know, my team size right now is roughly 5 people, if I'm not mistaken. 1, 2, myself, I think 5 people, and we produce well over, you know, multiple six figures. We typically bounce anywhere between $800,000 and $1.2 million a year. And as an investor, as someone who has other companies, I use that company just to build not only credibility for my software company, it's one of the main reasons I still do it, but just to bring and find rentals for myself. Hopefully this helped you guys out. Hopefully you guys learned something from this. If you have any questions whatsoever, comment below, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. We're allies here, so hopefully you realize that really this isn't about anything, but you know, giving as much value as I can back to you guys so you can start working towards, you know, the 4 pillars in your life, which is improve health, increase wealth, freedom, and focus. If you at least achieve some bit of that in this video, then I've kind of done my job. So thanks guys so much. Bye.